Hey there, Virgo. I am doing a reading for you. These are timeless readings for really whoever finds it, but I am titling it a Virgo reading, thinking of it from that perspective. So thanks for joining me. Let's see what's going on.
So there's something going on here worth examining. Uh, with the title talking about chasing and assumptions, and I want to explore what that situation really says about either party. Uh, Imagine someone who pulled back, thinking you would come forward, who created a pause as a quiz, as a dominance strategy, as a way to assert their value. And instead of coming forward, you just didn't, you just remained, danced your dance, pushed on without them. That lack of reaction, that's kind of hot. Way more than they were planning on. Let's examine what happens when their bluff is called. Visualize the mentality of someone who retreats, assuming pursuit. It's grounded in a specific order of thought that because they disappear, it will excite you, that your need for them is greater than their need for you. That withdrawal makes sure you'll chase them back in. You might be familiar with this pattern. Someone acts cold, stops talking, obsessively doesn't reach out, not because they want headspace, because they want you to show you care. Uh, it's a game some individuals play without admitting it's a game. Trying out, measuring out, watching how much you're willing to invest, forcing their absence to be bonus cash to secure your attention, can work on individuals who are anxious, who run from abandonment, who pursue to dodge abandonment. But what occurs when you're not that person? When you're when secure enough to leave people who want to leave, and their entire system falls apart. Think of someone who backed away, assuming firework, assuming texts asking, "What's wrong? Did I do something wrong? Can we talk?" Assuming you'll do whatever you need to do to reconnect. And instead, it remains quiet. Your routine, your vibrancy, your concentration elsewhere. That silence speaks to them in a way they didn't think to anticipate. Hold a second. Let this marinate. Some people don't realize what they bring to the table until they see their counterparts appreciate their value. They decide their royalty, the temptation, the accumulated abundance, and you're supposed to fight to have access to them. But when you don't fight, when you peacefully release them, so suddenly they have no one to match their energy. So suddenly they face someone who has enough decency to refuse to beg. You might have caught someone off guard recently by not participating in the role they assigned you, your role of chaser, of the one who cares more, of the one who would tolerate anything to keep the connection alive. By refusing to accept that part, you crushed it. Can seem like you didn't do nothing, and that's the whole truth. Your nothing was immense. Your quietness was a proclamation. And picture someone anticipating your failure, looking at their cell, wondering why you're not calling, starting to doubt whether you were wrong about everything. That doubt, that's the start of their reconsideration. That's when the one who thought they had the advantage recognizes they were walking on ice. Let me explore what happens in that moment. When the test doesn't go their way, they have options. They can go in even harder, wrap their head around the fact that you never cared anyway, get defensive, praising themselves that they snatched a positive, or they can become inquisitive, get modest, get real about what just occurred. This introspection considers the latter, the one where someone looks at your non pursuit and gleans a lesson. Maybe they observe you're not desperado, that your curiosity in them wasn't care, it was preference. And you can attract or withdraw preference at will. Maybe they discover not a game works on grown people. The whims of puppets only succeed on people who haven't done their inner work. That you've finished your work, it can be jarring for someone to realize they misjudged you. You might start discovering them displaying new conduct, less games, more sincerity, no more testing, more honest progress, because they've discovered that traditional tactics don't sit well with you, that if they desire your attention, they'll be forced to earn it honestly. And consider that change from someone who thought they could distort your affections to someone who acknowledges the need to prove their authenticity. That's progress happening in real time. Now, that's where insight counts. Just because someone changes their style doesn't mean you're compelled to trust it. Just because they want to speak now doesn't warrant you making yourself available. This reflection equips you to make decisions in your best interest, not in response to their renewed enthusiasm. Hold on. Imagine someone returning after their ploy failed, returning because they understood you're not about the games. Is that someone choosing you, or is that someone choosing the race they portray? Are they attracted to you, or are they attracted to defeating what they couldn't conquer? Addressing these questions is crucial because not every return merits a warm welcome. Some individuals are only interested in what they can't command, chasing unavailability, regressing once they've gotten their fix. You might be in that category. Someone whose fascination increased to new heights just because you didn't chase. And if you start chasing now, fascination may exacerbate again. That's a habit to keep an eye on. Opposed to someone who actually picked something up, who saw your dignity and attained it, who understood they messed up someone valuable and desires to correct their mistake. The contrast is visible in the way they approach. Are they apologetic, responsible, more mindful than before? Or are they presumptuous, expecting you'll pick up where you left off? That variation says everything you need to know about whether this transition is genuine. Let me talk about the predict success segment of the headline. Winner here doesn't signify winning them back. Doesn't like, hooray, we're finally intimate again. Winner here can be protected. Your standards. Victory can be not lowering your values to fit someone else's timetable. Victory can be possess your margin of error and never cross it. You might be victorious using a conversation where you state your expectations, where you don't lessen your demands to avoid making them uncomfortable, where you state the facts, even if it costs you that connection. That's happiness. That's a win. Not getting the individual. Being able to keep your authenticity. It is less passionate than union daydreams, but it is longer lasting. Or maybe success appears to be like them arriving in the feet of their demands, matching your power, running to your expectations, demonstrating change in action, and you being open enough to observe that with no cynicism, prepared to find out if this new energy is sustainable, without anticipation, without supervision, just observation. That's victory as well. Staying open without becoming a fool. Granting space for expansion without ignoring patterns. This reflection doesn't dictate what success should appear to be for you. It encourages you to identify it on your own, based on your ideals, your needs, your vision for just what harmonious relationship entails. Hold on. Let me change angles. Think about what you learned in their absence, that which you uncovered when you weren't intentional about them. Perhaps you uncovered you are much more whole than before, that being alone doesn't break you, that you possess means they didn't provide. Perhaps you understood you are worthy of surety, transparency, energy, and you're no more happy to accept less. People lessons are to you to keep. Whether or not this individual shows up or sticks, by far, that's the actual victory. The self confidence that grew in the gap they left. The understanding that came to light while they weren't present. Maybe you really are someone different than once they disappeared. More resilient, clearer, less tolerant of frivolity. That different of you may no longer want what the earlier version did. Can be interesting if someone arrives to find you've advanced past needing them. When they believe they'll find you waiting, but they'll find you thriving. When they thought they had been the star attribute and realized they're almost nothing in your plot, that's its own form of power. Not control over them, power within yourself. The kind that doesn't need them to know it for being real. Let me examine the possible reconciliation circumstance. Say this person gets in touch, does want to speak, does seem greater. What then? This reflection suggests going slow, watching actions more compared to words, seeing if habits matches compliments over time. Someone can state they have changed, can look genuine, can think their particular address, and still repeat habits when points get relaxed again. Actual change shows in sustained alternation, in how they handle arguments, in how they treat you when they are tested, in whether or not they keep seeking out or leisure once they've attained access. You might need 2 weeks longer days to evaluate that sincerely. Don't rush back into total openness just because they appeared. Have them earn trust gradually, not as punishment, as knowledge. As honoring the fact that trust, once broken, needs to be reconstructed, not merely begun, can feel sluggish, can feel careful. That's healthy. That's healthy. Anybody that's worth it will respect that and get the pace. Hold on. This reflection also recognizes the doable that you've changed, that their go back is interesting, although not mandatory, that you've attained happiness in their absence and are not thinking about interrupting it. That's real. That's fine. You're not obliged to give people next chances just because they eventually see what they lost. The actual lesson someone has to learn is they lost you permanently. That not all faults are curable. That timing issues. You cannot store individuals and imagine them to be open-minded when you're enough time. Will not work that way. People mature. People move on. People discover higher compatible partners somewhere else. Should you be in that space where you don't stir up much inside you? Protect that. Don't force attention you don't experience just because they eventually stepped up. Don't overdo reward with obtain that they does not deserve. Your ambivalence is knowledge. Let me land this intentionally. This reflection explores the dynamics when someone preys on your reaction to their leave, when they think you'll go after and you shouldn't, when they foresee power and recognize you've claimed your own. What unfolds from there depends on multiple factors. Their growth, your limitations, mutual willingness, timing, compatibility. Success might mean steady connection on healthier conditions, Might mean amicable closure with life lessons, might mean you walking away with your dignity intact. All of those are wins. So many require you to sacrifice yourself, take a resting. Whatever happens with this person or situation, keep this in mind. You actually been successful when you didn't come after. When you valued yourself enough to let a person go who chose to leave. That was the success. Everything else is really a result. Stay rooted in that understanding. Allow people's realizations about you be interesting, not defining. Choose based on exactly what will keep you thriving, not based on parroting or panic about missing out. You didn't miss one thing by didn't come after. You found yourself. That's the achievement worth celebrating. Take what resonates from this writing, release what doesn't serve. Um, and trust that no matter what unfolded, you're prepared to manage it with elegance and simplicity. Your worth isn't based on who pursues you, it's based on how you treat yourself when no one's watching. Keep carrying yourself like you matter. Anything else falls into spot from there.